It is time to take a look at our Week 4 AP Top 25. And already I can see we're going to have some problems here as we go through the top 25 following Week 3. We've already seen head coaches be fired for their 0-3 starts. Some are probably going to get fired sooner rather than later. Is this going to be a really raucous year with revenue sharing coming online, name, image, and likeness, trying to figure out the way forward as we're going to get a totally different era of college football that we're entering now. Brent Pry is out at Virginia Tech. Deshaun Foster is out at UCLA. And some programs might be headed the same way, even in this top 25. So starting number 1, Ohio State. They retain the top spot with 55 first-place votes. They beat up on Ohio. This was a 13-9 game for a little bit, and then Ohio State does what it did. It broke open. 347 yards passing for Julian Sayin, 109 yards on the ground for freshman Bo Jackson, 153 yards receiving for Jeremiah Smith, another 100 yards for Carnell Tate. Defense is still nails. Penn State stays at number 2. My goodness. But now they get an opportunity to prove it. They're going to get to play a team that is in their weight class. And for once, I want to see them do something about it because they're the opposite of Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford's 42-0. When I see Penn State play a top 5 team, bet against the top 5 team. But now there's a wrinkle here. We'll get to it because they ain't going to be playing a top 5 team when they play Oregon. Number 3, we got LSU. They're beat up on DJ Lagway in Florida, threw 5 interceptions in that game. The LSU defense looks good. The LSU offense looks like it needs to come online to retain this 3 spot. Miami, great win against South Florida. Beat them like they stole something, 49-12. South Florida team that beaten 2 top 25 teams before. Playing Miami. Miami said, no, we run the state of Florida. We're the best team in Florida. They look like it. Georgia at number 5 after a great win against Tennessee on the road. Gunnar Stockton becomes a dude. I would not be surprised to see Heisman conversation start to build around him with 300 yards passing. No turnovers for him. And a huge 4th and 6 play to London Humphreys to tie the game up and then eventually win it 44-41 in overtime at Rocky Top. Then number 6, Oregon, who got docked 2 spots for beating Northwestern by 20 points. If you're a Ducks fan and you're incensed, I'm with you. This is really ridiculous. This makes no sense. I think that Oregon's the number 2 team in the country, right? Because unlike Penn State, when it becomes time to play a top 5 team, they can go get it done. See Ohio State last year. They ran the table up until the quarterfinals of the college football playoff where they got run out the building by Ohio State, who won the national championship. And now they're the number 6 team in the country, playing the number 2 team in the country in Penn State. And this will not be a top 5 matchup for James Franklin, but it will be a top 10 matchup, and he ain't that much better against them either. I've already picked Oregon to win this game. I will continue to pick Oregon to win this game. Florida State's up to 7. Not bad for a team that started unranked and was 2-10 last year and went up 3 spots off the strength of playing nobody. They were idle this week, and they still went up 3 spots. Number 8, Texas. They go down a spot because we all looked at Arch Manning and said, yo, dog, why are you struggling against UTEP? It was bad, 11-25. He's had his second game in 3 starts where he's thrown for fewer than 200 yards. Granted, the first one's against Ohio State, but you get my point here. 9 straight incompletions. Texas down bad. Illinois is standing pat at 3-0, number 9. They, like Penn State, ain't play nobody that will change when they play Indiana. A&M's up to 10, which is about where I have them, up 6 spots off of a really great win on the road against Notre Dame. It's their first win on the road against a ranked team since 2013, and Notre Dame did everything they could to lose this game. Like, A&M did everything they could to make sure Notre Dame won this game. Tyler Buckner probably doesn't want to go to class on Monday. He botched an extra point snap that really gave A&M the opportunity to go win the football game, and that's exactly what they did. Oklahoma's up to 11 off of beating Temple 2 spots. They're going to play a top 25 team in Auburn later this week. Iowa State's up 2 spots off of beating Arkansas State in a game that was too tight for me, but 24-16, you'll take it. Ole Miss is up 4 spots with Trinidad Chambliss, who turns out to be all gold everything when he's playing against Arkansas. 350 yards he threw for, 66 on the ground. That dude's from Ferris State. Lane Kiffin finding dudes. Meanwhile, Deshaun Foster got fired after Nico Iamaleava made 3 stars for him. Yikes. Alabama's up 5 spots after destroying Wisconsin. Wisconsin ain't no good, but Alabama looks good, and they made that Florida State win or loss look even better. Tennessee's at 15, standing pat off the loss to Georgia, which I think is fine. Utah's up 4 spots off the strength of beating Wyoming. They got a team. They got a squad. They're going to get a top 25 matchup this week with Texas Tech, who's at number 17. So 16 versus 17 is the big noon game. I think Devin Dampier and Jason Beck have something, but if Texas Tech is going to show us that they are for real, now is the time to do it. With Baron Morton throwing for 442 yards against nobody last Saturday. I mean, again, I just want to see them play somebody that's any good. Georgia Tech checks in at 18 off the strength of beating Clemson at home. Great win for them, their first win against Clemson since 2013. Indiana is up 3 spots to 19 off the strength of a 73-0 stomping out of Larry Bird's Sycamores. Vanderbilt is at 20 off of beating South Carolina that did not have Lenore Sellers in the second half, got knocked out of that game, and they took the found money and went with it. That means there's no more South Carolina here. Michigan's up to 21, rushed for 381 yards on the ground against Central Michigan in 63, the 3 win with Sharon Moore nowhere in the building. Auburn's up 2 spots to number 22 off of beating South Alabama. Still got a Jackson Arnold, can't throw the ball for more than 200 yards. Missouri is up 2 spots to 23 with Ahmad Hardy rushing for 250 yards against Louisiana in a 52-10 thumping. And number 24 is Notre Dame, down 16 spots. I didn't rank Notre Dame. You're 0-2. How do you have an 0-2 team in the top 25? This is garbage. This is ridiculous. What are we ranking here? We're ranking a loss to Miami, and we're ranking on the road, and we're ranking a loss to A&M at home? Get out of here, man. SC's at 25. I like them too. They get a chance to prove it. They got their first Big Ten road win this week against Purdue. Others receiving votes include BYU with 94, South Florida 83, South Carolina 82. I don't know if you're ranking them off of Luke Doty. Okay. Mississippi State at 69, Texas Christian at 67, Arizona State at 57, Tulane at 33. That's going to be one that we're going to have to watch after the stomping out they put on Duke and the $8 million quarterback that left them to go there. Louisville's at 25, Nebraska's at 9, Baylor is at 6, Clemson's at 6, SMU's at 4, North Carolina State's at 4, UNLV's at 2, Navy's at 1. Navy, who stomped out TU last year at night, but the shocker here for me is that people are all out on Clemson. Now, they got off to a 1-2 start in 2013. They ended up going 10-2, but this doesn't feel like it's going to be that kind of year for them. This feels really difficult with Georgia Tech already being up in front of them, Miami being good, Florida State being good. Who knows what the rest of the ACC might be now that Brett Pry is basically bringing up the rear end of that conference. I'm still stuck on this Notre Dame thing. This sucks. I don't agree with ranking winless teams in week 4. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I think that the folks that ranked Notre Dame should have a talking to. Like, what are we doing here? I myself looked at this and I said, there ain't no way Notre Dame is going to be ranked. And for Oregon to go on the road and get a 20-point victory and get dot 2 spots, what the hell is it that people are seeing in Penn State? Like, I had so many people flying into my DMs on Instagram talking about, why do you keep dropping Penn State to 8? Because they ain't played nobody. Nevada, Florida International, and Villanova. Who is that? We don't know how good this team is, and every time they get an opportunity to do it, like what they did against Oregon last year, they lose the football game. When they win the football game, we can rank them in the top 5. It's that simple. Until then, miss me with the BS on this one, because this is garbage.